Morning everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison and today we'll be going over the market, see why there's been an $18 billion drop over the last 36 hours or so. What's happened there, look at the alts, we'll look at some news stories as well provided by Deb, Rob and James. Thank you very much to our brilliant admins, they do an amazing job. If you're in any of the free group or the premium group, you'll know just how amazing the admins are. So big, huge thank you to all the admins. And we'll be looking over a few charts as well and just talking crypto as well. Okay, first of all, a couple of people have asked me about this, so I'm going to tell you about it. So I was going to put a news story up about Craig Wright. Craig Wright to me is just a FUD. So I'd said that before and somebody said, what is a FUD? I thought that meant fear, uncertainty and doubt. So I'm going to teach you in some Scottish vernacular. So that's the first thing I'm going to do today. If you're easily offended, don't watch for the next 1.5 minutes. And I don't like swearing. Well, no, I don't like swearing in the groups. Personally, I like swearing. I think it's part of the English language. I think it's a beautiful thing to do, but I don't like it in the groups. When you first meet somebody, you don't swear, stuff like that. And that's what I like the groups to be. It's just a non-swearing group. And that's part of the rules of the kind of premium group and the free group as well. But me personally, I do swear, but it's only when I get to know people. So I've seen this news story. I'm going to show you this news story. Just the guy's just an arse. Craig Wright puts $5,000 bounty on identity of Bitcoin maximalist who called him a fraud. On social media, he puts something like that up and doesn't even think about the consequences of what happened here. So Craig Wright is suing Twitter using Hodl for defamation of character, and today offered a $5,000 bounty for any identifying information, according to CoinGeek. Already fans of Bitcoin SV, the cryptocurrency that Wright supporters, have started tracking the Twitter user down online and publicly revealed his home address. So Wright's move has shocked the crypto community. I can't believe he's done something like this. He's just a FUD, and a FUD, I'm going to teach you kind of what FUD means in Scotland. So I'm going to teach the kind of vernacular here, and I'm going to swear, so for the next minute, don't watch this. So, although FUD is widely accepted in Scotland as being a slang term for the female reproductive organs, it's generally used as a pejorative to describe someone who's just done something stupid, often in a situation where they've either been impulsive or it was blindingly obvious beforehand that was a stupid thing to do. So I like the kind of term here. It can also be used to describe someone who irritates everyone because they try to impress everyone all the time and invariably talks a lot of pish. Again, that's Scottish slang. So it's got some details here. So somebody's saying in Scotland, "Oh, you big FUD." That's an angry way of saying it. "Oh, you bloody idiot." Or a person kind of talking to another person, "I can't be fucked with him." This is a Scottish, it just made me laugh when I seen it this morning. I can't be fucked with him. It says, how? Because he's a pure FUD. So FUD means idiot, in other words, in Scotland. And I just kind of loved that term. So I had to share it with you. But I'm not going to cut it out, I'll just leave it in. So I just had to share that with you. And Craig Wright comes under the definition of a FUD. To be honest, he's just an arse. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Okay, we are on. Okay, I'm going to go over to the chat just now. So that really tickled me this morning. And as I said, I don't like swearing. When I first meet people, and that's why I don't like it in the groups, kind of being serious. I just don't like it. I just think it's very jarring and it's offensive as well until you get to know somebody really well. But in groups, it just says there's not a place for swearing, but I do like it personally as part of the English language or Scottish vernacular. Okay, let's get to crypto. We have Tim Gashes in this morning, Andreas is in, Mervyn Skidmore, Mighty Locke, Greg Samuel, Smart People, Mark Pollen, Mitch Dieter, J, Stephen King, Toyota Celica, B is in, Max H, High Points Drifter, Marcus Jafari, Jeff Sternmate is in, Adam Forrest, Honest Crypto Johnny, Kim O'Brien, one of our brown admins is in, Virtual Server Videos, Gordy Boy Scotland is in, or Gordy Boy, now change that to, B, your wee FUD, yeah, I love it, G Slick is in the house as well. Gordy Boy, morning folks, FUD LOL, same as Fanny. Yeah, I was going to say that, but it is. So I don't know why we kind of use this kind of vernacular for calling somebody an idiot, like fanny, prick and stuff like that. Now, it's not, I know this is offensive to some people, but I just thought it's funny as well, I think. But it's a Scottish language, yeah, definitely. The Stormkeeper is in. Craig Wright is a total fan. True, Craig Wright is a total fan. Right, okay, I need to stop laughing because this crypto business is really serious just now. We just lost $18 billion. Anyway. Right, stop. Max H. I'll never be able to read that word in crypto without laughing. Oh, that made me laugh, that. Well, thanks for that, Stuart. Right, okay, on to the markets. What's happening in the markets overall? He's a BAM. Yes, he is a BAM. Okay, what's happening in the markets overall? Okay, well, so we're down to $170 billion. Oh, shit. I can't stop. I've got the giggles. I can't stop. Right, okay. Market capitalization, $170 billion. Come down, it was $185 billion, or kind of even higher than that. It was lower than 170, it's gone back up again. And that's because Bitcoin has gone down in price. It's lost $200-300 kind of up and down just now. And there might be reasons for that, we don't know. Or a lot of people are thinking, could this be the drop again? Could it be incoming again? I don't feel it is. Personally, I don't feel it is. Intuitively, I don't feel we're going to get a drop back to 4,200 or 4,800. Personally, I feel this is going to shoot up. I think there's going to be a jump up from here. Based on intuition. It's not based on anything. It's not based on charts. If you looked at the charts, you'd say Bitcoin is going down further. So don't pay attention to that. Take it with a huge pinch of salt. It's just my feeling. And the kind of spidey senses kind of going overtime again. But it's very binary. It's either wrong or it's right. So, but that's just my personal feeling on it. Okay, so we'll just see who's at the top. Crypto.com, this is CRO, gone up again, 16.8%. And we'll go over to the bubbles chart just now. True Chain is up again, 13%. Walton Chain is up. Lambda is up again, 4%. Ogre, Nebulas, Populous. Zcash is up. Tether, they're kind of stable coins as well. So we've only got roughly about 10% in the green, 90% in the red. And double-digit figure reds is Maximine Coin, KuCoin shares. KuCoin shares, I think there's a brown opportunity for KuCoin shares. BNB I've recommended as well. I think that's going to go up. I know you've got the lottery for BNB and you have to hold it for 20 days. But I just think people are going to start to go in for the next lottery. And I just think they're going to accumulate more. So you need 100 BNB tokens for a lottery ticket to be entered with a maximum of 500 BNBs. So I think people are just going to start buying BNB, and I think they're going to do it with the KuCoin shares as well. I think the exchange shares are the exchange coins are going to go up big time soon. They've done it already, but I think this represents a good buying opportunity. ABBC coin down 10% as well. Overall, we'll look at the markets overall, and we've now got 2,168, up 8 from yesterday. Cryptocurrencies, and this is coins have traded over 10k in volume over the last 24 hours. So Everest on 18,000 volume is up 245%. BitQI is up 190%, and that's got $500 million market capitalization. This is what we're looking for, this market capitalization. IG token has only got market capitalization of 117,000, but it's up 110% on 152,000 volume. So it might be worth looking into, as is Level Up coin, up 83% on 122,000 volume. Don't know if that's what was trading or not, but we can have a look at it and do our due diligence on that as well. What other ones? WAB Network, haven't heard of WAB Network, up 39%. This would be good to look at this. I was kind of playing about with this as well. 0 to 100,000 market capitalization, and these are the ones that have kind of moved up. We've seen Super Edge yesterday, That's up 143% over the last 24 hours, and we've seen it was up over 100% yesterday as well. But over the 7 days, it's up 1,388%. Put $1 in, you get nearly $14 back. That's basically what that means. But I don't know what the market capitalization is yet. Crystal token, market cap of 15,000 with volume on 67,000. Italian lira, 47,000 market cap. Coin to go, WIT chain, 71,000 market cap. So we'll have to start looking at these for the hidden gems and maybe put $500, a couple of $100 in them, something just to see, after due diligence of course. Let's see if there's any others. Quinads, I've kind of looked at that as well, I've kind of got that in my list as well. ZenSwap Network, Cyber Music, Bitcoinus, Abulaba, Vicky token, Carrot, Tourist token, Neuro Protocol as well. So there's lots. So have a look at CoinMarketCap and give you a lot of good information and can help you find hidden gems as well. Okay, we'll go into the bubbles. What's happening in the bubbles? And this was provided by Natasha the other day. I just love this. I think it's brilliant as a visual representation. This is over the last day. So CRO, you can see over the last 24 hours up 15%. True Chain up 14%. Lambda still going up. NAS, Nebulas is up. Populous, Ogre, Walton Chain as well. So just visually you can look back and just hone in on the ones that are doing well with the size of the bubbles. If we look at it on the hourly, we can see it's more green, which is good. Lambda is down 5%. Obviously it's been up huge, it's been up 400% over the last, 424% over the last week. Elastos has been going down all week actually. Republic, that's Ogre, that's kind of going up, that's one of the big bubbles there. Strat, Mixin as well, up 2.18%. So this is the last hour. So this gives you a representation of what's going on right at this moment. And I'm not talking about looking at individual ones, but if you look at it as a whole, that gives you a kind of representation of the crypto market as a whole. So it's not just in the top 100s. Or is it just in the top 100s? It might well be actually. Yeah, it is. So it is just in the top 100s, but it still gives you just the overall what's happening in the cryptocurrency space. We've seen yesterday when we looked at the hour, this was all red, and that was kind of visual. That was a representation of what was happening in the markets at the time. Everything was going down, but it could be coming back up if we look at this as a visual representation. So I think this is really good. So check that out at cryptobubbles.net/chart. So cryptobubbles.net/chart, and I believe somebody said it's the same people who did Brave, the browser, Brave. We'll just go back. Right, we'll not go back to that. Toyota Celica is very similar to 2014 bull run. It's been a strange week this week for crypto. It's just been a really weird week. I don't think I've made any calls this week. From Monday onwards, I think I made one call on it, Seller Network, because I thought that was going to go up. It's starting to move just now. We'll just have a look at that in a second. But it's been a very strange week, weird week. Do you think it's time to buy into banker charts? Are looking like 4,600. Satoshi Shon. I've not looked at that in a while. Check that out. Later on, IT Financial. Good morning. Tut is in the house as well. Good morning to you. Ben Polgardi is in. Crypto Don Wan is in. Good morning to you. Mervyn Skidmore. That pick of CW gave a smug reading of 1100 millibonos. HXRP Han. Good morning to you. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Do you think 2019 year of exchange tokens like Binance, Huobi, KuCoin, Bitmax, etc.? Yeah, I do. I definitely do think that's coming. Crypto Don Wan is saying wait. Right, what was that for? Wait for what? Max H, I want to see a massive bad bubble soon. That'll be good. So we'll take a look at some of those charts as well. Tim Gash, how are you feeling about XRP, Steve? I'm feeling a bit of a Friday BitMEX action. XRP, yes, I still like XRP. It's going down according to the charts. You wouldn't buy into XRP just now, but it's just accumulation. Some good news about XRP as well. So we'll go over to the charts just now. So look at Bitcoin first. What's happening in Bitcoin? It did get down to 4,913, and there's news out, and we don't know if this is true or not, but there's news out that this could be caused by, and this is from Mr. Christoph as well, breaking Bitcoin dip caused by WikiLeaks dumping Bitcoin. Julian Assange had a lot of Bitcoin. So Julian Assange was arrested in London yesterday, so it's been kind of in the Ecuadorian embassy since 2012, seeking refuge there since 2012, and he's now been arrested in London for extradition to Sweden or the US, one of the two. So he's been arrested, but he had 4,022 Bitcoin or something, and Mr. Christoph and that Martini guy have between them kind of been checking into this, and I'll put the links to the videos for them, but check out Mr. Christoph and just talking about WikiLeaks, and that Martini guy as well. I actually like this guy. He's got some good stuff. He produces some brilliant videos, and he does research. So I do like this guy, but at first I thought he was a rip-off of another YouTuber who I can't remember his name, but I do actually like him. His research is actually really good, and he's been looking at what happened with regards to kind of the WikiLeaks and their address, the Bitcoin address, and what's happened to it. And it did have 4,000 odds Bitcoin in it, but it looks as if they're sold off, and maybe that's why there's a BTC dump just now. So you can see all at the top here that he was chasing all of these, or kind of researching all of these kind of addresses to see where everything went with regards to kind of Bitcoin from the WikiLeaks folder, or the WikiLeaks BTC address. So I'll put those links in the kind of description for you as well, or in the comments. I'll put it in the first comment for you. So that's that Martini guy and Mr. Christoph as well. So I don't know if you know them already, but really good videos. So I'll check that out as well. So that's what could have caused this kind of dump from 5,300 down to 4,900, which is a $400 kind of drop, but was at its peak at 5,465, so it lost $548. So it might have been caused by that, but on the daily, still looks good. We've not even got down to the 50 EMA yet on the daily, so it's just getting back up to the 70 EMA, so it could bounce off that and go back up again. As I said, gut feeling for me personally, this is going to shoot up, and we're going to get to the 5,500, 6,000 level. Maybe not this weekend, but I've got a gut feeling from later on today onwards, we're going to start going up again for Bitcoin, and the alts in dollar value will go up as well. Not BTC value necessarily, but in dollar value, I think we're going to go up. So we're at 5,029 just now. XRP we're going to look at. Just have a look at that just now. Yeah, according to all the charts, you would just say no way should you be buying XRP. For me, that's just brilliant. I just accumulate as much as I can. I can't buy any more at the moment, but I did buy a kind of small batch at 6,600 again as well. And I'll just be, when I get more money, I'll just kind of put it in at these prices, 6,400 if I can, or if it goes down further, I'll just keep buying. I'll just keep on accumulating for the future. If you're doing it for long term, it doesn't really matter. These little blips are not going to make a blind bit of difference. If you're trading it, it's not a tradable token at the moment. Certainly on the daily, on the 4 hourly, it's not tradable. On the 1 hourly, not tradable. Even on the 15 minutes, not tradable. 5 minutes, not tradable. So yeah, XRP is not tradable at the moment unless you're shorting it. If you're going on BitMEX, if you're shorting it, or if you want to go long on it, if you think this is kind of hit the bottom, then if you want to go long on it, if you're kind of doing BitMEX or whatever, look at the 5 minute chart and wait on the 70 EMA crossing over the 50 EMA, and then you can put a long on on BitMEX if you're going to go 5x leverage or something like that. But do your own research. I'm definitely not a financial advisor, and I've lost a lot of money on BitMEX as well. So, and that was my own stupidity. It's nothing to do with BitMEX. But just be careful, and just be really careful when you're doing that. But if I was going to say if I was a bet man, I suppose I am, because I'm into kind of cryptocurrency and I've done BitMEX before. I'll probably start thinking about going long or keeping an eye on the 5 and 15 minute chart, probably the 5 minute chart, just to see when that 70 MA crosses over. As soon as it does that, I would maybe wait on a confirmation on the 15 minute, or just go in for it and go for the long on XRP. But yeah, so you can still make money even though coins are going down. You just have to remember that. But a lot of people just don't like trading on BitMEX. I might do, I've got a course out teaching you how to kind of trade on, or teaching you all about cryptocurrency. So I've had that course out for ages, and a lot of people bought into the course and they got into the kind of calls group as well, the premium group, as part of a kind of special I had at the very beginning when I released it. So I might do another release of that course. I might do another kind of launch of that course as well later on, and I'll include BitMEX kind of videos as well if that's what kind of people want. But you just have to be really careful with BitMEX. Okay, what else is, we'll just look at the kind of top ones. So what's Ethereum doing? Everything's down just now, obviously, but Ethereum, we're at 3.2 million Satoshi just now, 3.25, it was at 3.28 Satoshi, or 3.28 million Satoshi. Starting to go back up again. This is on the 5 minute, but if we look, we'll just look on the daily. You can see on the daily, it's not good. However, I do think this is an accumulation zone as well for Ethereum. If there's another coin that we should be accumulating, in my opinion, XRP is definitely one of them. In fact, I've said it before, and we've looked at the top 100, and we'll do it again. What would we be accumulating at these prices? Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, EOS, Litecoin, forget Bitcoin Cash, Binance Coin, I would be accumulating Binance Coin as well. Stellar, don't know too much about it, as I said, but I would be accumulating that or looking at it and accumulating that as well for the future. If you think where it's been, where it can go, Cardano, definitely accumulate. Tron, I'm not so sure about. I don't like the way he's kind of doing things just now, so I've kind of changed my opinion, and I'm very fickle, I have to admit. Because Justin Sun has been slagging off Vitalik Buterin, I just don't think that's the way business should be done, and it just put me off Tron altogether. That is silly, I know, but the way you do the small things is the way you do the big things, I believe. So you can tell a lot about a person by the way they do the small things. And I think the way Justin Sun is kind of doing this, it doesn't bode well for the company as a whole. And I wrote to him kind of ages ago, months and months ago, and just said, listen, stop doing this. It's not you, it's not who you are, you're bigger than that. And he keeps on doing it, and it's just put me off him. And so honestly, I'm a big believer, the way you do the small things is the way you do the big things. If you can master the kind of small things, you'll get to master the bigger things much quicker. This is kind of in life, in business, I've learned this as well. And I've just gone off Tron, I have to admit. And I thought I had a brilliant future. I thought this is going to be brilliant. BTT is going to be amazing for it as well. But just Justin Sun has just kind of told me off, and that's very fickle, I know, but that's just my honest opinion on it. Bitcoin SV, ignore. Monero, I was looking at that this morning as well. I don't know if I'd be accumulating that. Dash, I don't know. IOTA, I'm not sure about. Neo, 100% yes. Ethereum Classic, 100% yes. Ontology, yes. Tezos, never really looked into it, although a lot of people do talk about it. Maker, haven't looked into that. NEM, looked into it a wee bit. Crypto.com. MCO, I would be accumulating, maybe not CRO, but MCO definitely. VeChain, yes. So these are kind of accumulation zones for me. Okay, we'll go back to chat. Crypto Don Juan, thank you very much for the $20 donation, mate. Really appreciate that. Saying thanks for everything. Thank you for everything. You've been amazing over the last, well, since I've known you, to be honest. Just your kind of research, what you've been doing, looking for the hidden gems as well. You've been brilliant. And just the way you've been networking with everybody else as well. And excellent. You brought a lot of people together, so big kudos to you. But thank you very much for the donation, mate. Really appreciate it. B, pump and dump has other meanings in Glasgow. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Tim Gash, how are you feeling about... Oh, right, done that. About XRP. LRC, your opinion. Did my boots. Okay, LRC was spoke about. It said it was going to go up to 3,000 with a Bitcoin dip and the Bitcoin kind of rise as well subsequently. But LRC, what's happening there? LRC BTC. So what do you think now? So you can see here, this is what I was looking at from here, and I kind of put the line up here, cup and handle. It just tried to get up to that, got to 2,200 before coming back down. So, in my opinion, I would take another stab at this. So 1,466 Satoshi, I think that represents a really good opportunity to kind of get in again, and I still think this cup and handle is coming. But the further and further it gets away in the timeline, the less likely it is to happen. So this kind of happened in January. So if it doesn't happen soon, it might not happen. But we've got support here at 1,369. So for me, I would be taking a kind of chance on this, or maybe wait on it. What's it looking like on the hour? Maybe wait on it and crossing over on the hourly if you want a kind of more precise time to get in, instead of just saying, okay, we'll just get in just now. Or you could even look at the 15 minutes. It's not crossed over in the 15 minute yet, so I'd maybe do that. Look at the 1 hourly or the 15 minute to get in, and that'll give you a more precise in for loopring. But I think it's going to do well. Slim Shady is in, Sensei Kiko Man is in, Coffee and Stream, happy days. Yes, indeed, Coffee and Stream. Good to have you here. Gordy Boy, heard the Cryptoverse say if Cardano breaks 11 cents, it's got a clear run up to 19. Cardano, still love as well. You know I love that. 1624, another accumulation one as well. Just accumulate. For an easy, for me, it's an easy 10xer. For Cardano, I think it's 8 cents just now, but that's just based on the BTC price. If BTC was $1, obviously Cardano price would be way under, kind of not, or a tenth of a cent. So it's just BTC price. So don't really look at the dollar value, but look at the Satoshi value. 1624 for the Satoshi value, and I think it represents a good opportunity at these prices for accumulating. Sticking XRP and a nano stick and leave till 2020. I only have 15,000. That should be plenty. Yeah, I think you should. I honestly think if you had 15,000 XRP and you just left it for a couple of years, I think you'd be laughing in a couple of years' time. Can you please check on ADX and Zilliqa, HXRP Han? Check on that, and then we'll get to the news. I've got a painter coming in later on, so I need to kind of wrap up, but not just now. What did you say? Zil was one of them, and ADX. Well, that's Bitfinex, we don't want that. Zil BTC. Again, this was one I was looking at as well, but we're not going to 15 minute, we'll go on the daily one. If we kind of look here, we're going down towards the all-time low again for Zilliqa, which you might think, oh, that's a really bad thing, but for the longer term, it could be a good thing and could represent a good opportunity. Again, if you want to get in a more precise kind of timing, go to your 15-minute chart and look to see if we're going to be getting the crossover of the 7 EMA or even the 1 hour chart to see when to get in, because some of these are going to bounce and are going to bounce hard. Zilliqa, I think, is going to be one of them as well, but it still may go lower. Just now it's dropping, it's dropping, it's dropping. According to the charts, you wouldn't be buying in just now. So that's why you have to go to the lower kind of charts. And what you're doing when you go to the kind of lower time frame charts is you're looking to get in just before they start rising. And that's what we're looking at here. But obviously there's kind of false breakouts here as well. On the yesterday, we had a false breakout at 403. It did get up to 410 before coming back down again. So you have to be careful for the smaller time frame charts. That's why generally we don't tend to use them, but they can give you a good indication of what's going to happen. What happens in micro tends to filter up to the macro, but not always, as we see here. There's two breakouts here, or false breakouts that didn't quite come off, so you have to be really careful and cautious. So you could just say, okay, I'll just go in on the hour chart and see when that kind of breaks. Last time it kind of went up was on the 5th of April at 465. It went all the way up to 531, which represented about 15% up before coming back down. So if you're in it for the long term, good accumulation for Zilliqa as well. We'll just see who else is in. ADX, you said. We'll look at that. ADX, BTC. And that's on the hourly. We'll just look on the daily. So you can see here, I kind of drew this line a while ago. This line here, this is a support line for ADX. Perfect bouncing off that line. And this is on the daily. So it's a perfect bounce off here. So for me, this is a good buying opportunity because it's got support all the way up here. And we can see since November 2018, it's had this kind of support line, or really kind of when it was formed in February, because you couldn't draw that on its own and, on that date. But from here onwards, it's got a good support round about here. So I would say this is a good buying opportunity for ADX, but again, just look at it on the hourly if you want as well. On the hourly, it's kind of is following form on that support line as well. It's bouncing up then coming back down. So it looks as if it's going to cross back up over on the hourly. It's probably crossed what has crossed in the 15-minute. Just crossed on the 15-minute chart, 3272. Bouncing off the 7 EMA on the 15-minute chart as well. So for me, that would be a buy, but do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. TRX is going to partner with ETH. We heard that before. Toyota, Zilliqa. What about Bitcoin Diamond? BCD. Yes, Bitcoin Diamond. I kind of looked at that the other day. We'll look at the Bitcoin price. On a 15-minute chart, is it the all-time low for? No, it's not the all-time low. Look on the daily. So on the daily, you just say no, this is not a buying opportunity, but it could be because everything else has fallen down. On the hourly, still a no-go yet. On the 15-minute, once that crosses over, I would start to take more of a look at Bitcoin Diamond. Same with Bitcoin Gold as well, BTG. That's the only ones I like of the Bitcoin derivatives. That's the older ones, BTG, BTC. Yeah, so start looking at that once the 15-minute crossed over. And the reason I'm kind of mentioning 15 minutes all the time is because there's been such a big drop. There's going to be a bounce. There's going to be a bounce, or they're just going to keep on falling. That's why I say look at the 15-minute chart and don't go in until the 15-minute, the 7 EMA crosses over the 50 EMA on a 15-minute chart. That's when to start looking at it, or on the 5-minute chart as well. Because they've had such a big fall, had a big drop because of the Bitcoin price falling, and obviously the Bitcoin price going up as well when people are selling out of alts, getting into Bitcoin. So there's a kind of double whammy there. I hope that makes sense. Okay, we're going to go over to the news. So this was the news that Julian Assange, WikiLeaks co-founder, was arrested in London. We kind of spoke about that earlier on, and how WikiLeaks had kind of possibly sold off 4,000 Bitcoin, which might have kind of started this drop in the Bitcoin price, because that is a lot. 4,000. What is that? 4,000 star 5,000. Just make sure I'm getting it right. Yeah, so that's $20 million worth, which is a lot of money to put into the markets. So it just depends on what markets it went into. But that could be the cause of the BTC price falling down. It was just a bit of a coincidence that he got arrested, and then it was the start of a sell-off for Bitcoin. Now, what do you think about kind of Julian Assange? I don't know. I just think there's a lot of misinformation in the kind of British press and the kind of press worldwide as well. I just do not trust the press at all. And even the BBC, I love the BBC, and I think the kind of reporting is brilliant. But I just don't trust kind of any news, kind of big news stories or big news companies like this either. I think we've been manipulated in a huge way all over the world, not just with the BBC, just all over the world. And I'm not saying they're necessarily at the heart of it. I don't think they're necessarily part of it, but they're part of it in a different way, in a kind of roundabout way, because they're being fed information. They're just reporting on it. But the information that they're being fed, I think, is just pure. A lot of it can be pure nonsense, and you just don't know who to believe. But that's my personal opinions on that. It's not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I guess it is. Ripple's XRP can now be used to top up your phone. So this is from Uquid, a startup that allows customers to pay for goods and services with cryptocurrencies. Has recently announced that its customers will be able to use Ripple's XRP for payments. Thus, XRP holders don't have to convert their favourite token to other coins or fiat currencies in order to buy groceries or top up their phone number. So a small, tiny piece of good news, because obviously this is kind of more about Uquid, talking about Uquid, and people are going to be asking what is Uquid, because everybody knows what XRP is. But the bigger news story here for Ripple to gain exposure in Europe. Minister of Luxembourg just dropped hint of cooperation. So Ripple, XRP, two different entities. Fans may have something to look forward to on the adoption front in Europe, as Luxembourg's Minister of Finance, Pierre Gramegna, has hinted that Luxembourg will soon receive Ripple's exposure. So there's a tweet here for Pierre. Excellent exchange of views with Chris Larsen. Looking forward to further development of Ripple in Luxembourg. What does that mean? It's never given any more information, and this was a couple of days ago. So there's very little information regarding this development, as the tweet above is only an announcement thus far. We are still waiting on further details about a specific deal talk between Larsen and Gramegna to get a clear picture of what's going on. However, it's highly speculated that some sort of Ripple-backed upgrades will be deployed across Luxembourg and Europe. So, an excerpt from the paper mentioned XRP read payment tokens are virtual or cryptocurrencies. This is, for instance, the case of Bitcoin or Ripple, i.e. tokens intended to be used now or in the future as a means of payment for acquiring goods or services, or as a means of money or value transfer. So he actually said as well that he didn't believe XRP was a security, he believed it was a token. So interesting times for Ripple, more good news for Ripple, but still not kind of affecting the price in any way. There's also Ripple, first bank in Japan to cancel cooperation with MoneyTap, powered by RippleTech. That's another piece of that's looking at the other side. We're not just looking at one side for Ripple or XRP. This is from Anthony Pompliano. Breaking: Harvard's endowment invested $5 million to $10 million directly into Blockstack's token sale. This means that one of the leading university endowments is comfortable holding tokens directly. The virus is spreading. It's talking about this hit mainstream, and Harvard kind of university or Harvard kind of endowment invests in Blockstack. Here, the full news from CryptoSlate. So the Harvard University Endowment Fund made an unprecedented investment in the cryptocurrency tokens of blockchain startup Blockstack, enabling the company to raise $48 million in its private token sale. So this is news in and of itself, that Harvard Endowment are doing this, but the bigger news here and the bigger picture here is that a company, an entity like Harvard Endowment, are investing in cryptocurrencies and blockchain as well, and these kind of startups. So that is the bigger news there, which means it goes. People are going to be asking. They don't know about blockchain, don't know about cryptocurrencies. They're going to be asking more and more about what it all is. They're going to be Googling it, then they're going to find out. Then you're going to get new people into the cryptosphere. They're going to get new people into Bitcoin, into cryptocurrencies in general, and that's what drives the market. So this is good for the whole cryptosphere as a whole. It's a really good kind of piece of news for that as well, because we need that mainstream adoption. We're not there yet. We've not hit the tipping point. We're getting there, and this pushes us towards that tipping point. Tim Draper. Tim Draper is in the news again. Venture capitalist Draper to meet with Facebook on crypto fund. So venture capitalist Tim Draper is planning to meet with Facebook Inc. to discuss investing in the social network's cryptocurrency project. And he says, I'm interested to hear the story. Draper said in an email to Bloomberg News, we will see if it is a fit. So this is, again, news of Facebook. We know Facebook are looking to get into kind of crypto and possibly bring out their own stablecoin or their own kind of coin as a means of payment on Facebook, which I think would be a good thing. They need to do it. They need to kind of jump on this as quick as possible. So that's kind of good news as well. Bitcoin whales moves 42,616 BTC as leading crypto test 5,000. So crypto whale watchers are tracking a pair of huge Bitcoin transactions that moved a total of 20,000 Bitcoin worth about $102 million. Both transactions happened between unknown wallets and do not appear to be traders gearing up to sell. So the movements are part of a larger Bitcoin whale migration happening as the markets move into the red. So this is kind of all the kind of details there. Backed says race day is approaching to bring crypto to the mainstream. Backed, the upcoming Bitcoin futures exchange from Intercontinental Exchange, parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, has hinted at a new release day. Are we interested? Yeah, we are interested, but we just think, yeah, another kind of day that's coming that'll probably not happen. So, but they're coming out. They're still being kept in the news because of that as well. Craig Wright, FUD, and I think that's it. Is there any other? Reddit users claim that Quadriga CX Bitcoin withdrawals came from other exchanges. This is a news story. I'll kind of put these news stories in, but I'm just going to jump over back to the chat area. 1 second. G-Slick's PundiX charts. PundiX doesn't look good at the moment, but we'll have a look. NPXS Bitcoin. That's on the 15 minute. It's never going to look good on the 15 minute. Still not a buy at the moment, still going down just now. So I guess what we're going to have to do is look at PundiX on the, and we'll go to this in a second, on the buys. So the buys at 13 are outweighing the buys at 14 by 2 to 1. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So it's at 13.14 just now, so it could go to 14.15 throughout the day, up 1 Satoshi, which represents about 7%. So if you're looking at that, if you're going to buy at 13 and sell at 14, you're getting at 7%. That's a no-brainer, that. But it has to get up to 15, or you have to put in your kind of buy a sell order straight away. So difficult one team get 1 Satoshi from PundiX just now. At the moment, it's not a buy at the moment. But like any of the other cryptocurrencies, with a piece of good news, this could just go shooting up. So it could be, if you're accumulating PundiX, then this is as good an accumulation price as any. Its all-time low was 12. It's not its all-time low, but its all-time low was actually 10. And we've been buying way higher than that. What's your opinion, bank? I don't really know. We spoke about looked at it a couple of months ago, to be honest, Satoshi Sean, but not looked at it again. Babs was so upset seeing that happen to Assange. Babs H. Yeah. You don't know, because obviously there's been other allegations made against Julian Assange as well, which is why he was first kind of went into the Ecuadorian embassy. So I don't know. You just don't know at all. I'm still bagging Pundi for monthly returns and get me some FX coin also. Excellent, because that might be brilliant. I've just kind of I don't like trading it just now. It's good for the long term. I've still got I don't know, 500,000 or something kind of yeah, in the wallet just now. I might have to transfer it over actually into the X wallet. British Bias Corporation, good, seriously. British Bias Corporation, the BBC. Yeah, I think it depends on what the BBC. I don't think they're all bad. I think the BBC as a whole, as a company, as a corporation, are really good. With regards to news, I think they report on what they're being fed. Do they know what they're being fed? Well, they should. They should. So I don't know. With regards to news, I don't like it. But as a corporation, I think the BBC are brilliant. If he gets extradited to the US, he has finished. Oh, he'll just disappear. He really will just disappear if he gets extradited. Mervyn Skidmore, it's hard to get reliable news coverage from an organisation that's funded by the very government that's reporting on. Yeah, it is. It's like, oh, don't get me started on that. I just don't trust any of the big news corporations. I don't trust them. This is why I like people like Julian Assange, who is a purveyor of the truth. And this is what we're looking for. The truth is like kind of living in the matrix. And what we're seeing on TV and the news nightly is not what's actually happening in the real world. That's how I look at it. So it's like the Matrix, where we're not getting the true story, and this is why I like people like WikiLeaks and people like that. It just tells you kind of what's going on. But they're getting into trouble because of it, because it shows the corruption that's actually going on inside the governments as well. So should he be? I don't know. I don't know. Want to get him out of the embassy as soon as he took over. FUD. Because the IMF paid him to remove Assange. Corruption is everywhere. CW, the most punchable face in crypto. Mervyn Skidmore. Sensei Kikuman, what do you think of Binance CEO delisting Bitcoin Cash if Craig don't stop the nonsense? I think it'd be a brilliant move. It'd be a brilliant move if they kind of delisted it. Well, the sexual assaults thing, if you look into it, seemed like a setup, but you never know. That was my thoughts on it. The sexual assault that in 2012 in Sweden seems like a setup. To me, it seems like an excuse to go arrest him and get him in there. That perfect setup. So, but you never know. There's still that uncertainty and doubt, obviously, as well. But it seemed like a pure setup, to be honest. But we're getting into kind of other stuff. Crypto Gypsy, keep shining light on the workings of the corrupt government creeps. Yeah, so I got myself 1.5 million BTT, good investment. I think it's a good investment. I just don't like what Julian's son is doing. I don't like what he's doing. As I say, the way you do the small things, the way you do the big things. If he's doing kind of small things like that, like slagging off Vitalik Buterin and kind of Ethereum and stuff like that, then what's he doing with the big things? Where's his mindset? Where's his mentality when he's doing stuff like that? Because you're bigger than that. If you're bigger than that and you know and you're confident about your own company, would you be slagging off other people? No, you wouldn't do it. This is why I don't like the FUDs like Craig Wright, and I just don't. This is what pisses me off about crypto. Pisses me off about anything in life, to be honest. When you bring your ego into it, that's when you start to question it. And this is what Julian's son is doing. He's bringing his ego into it. It's always been about his ego as well, but he was doing it in a good way. Just talking up Tron all the time. But when he's starting slagging off other people, makes it a totally different company, totally different egocentric kind of point of view as well. So I've kind of gone off it. I've kind of gone off him. Being really honest. Indeed, we are in the matrix. We are in the matrix. B, have a good weekend, Steve. Everyone, be safe. You as well, B. Thanks for joining me. Crypto Dread is in. Smash the likes. Mervyn Skidmore. Bab says, don't have to go Jimmy when I was 7 p.m. 7. Jim fixed it for me to milk a cow whilst blindfolded. That's a bit sick. Sergey Dobranevsky, do you still trade on Bancor Exchange? I don't. I've not traded on Bancor Exchange for ages. It was a brilliant exchange to trade on for a while, but the fees were just kind of too high. Toyota Celica, agree mate. Lightburn Crush says, Gene, Crypto Don Juan, Stephen, how you doing on making your money back from BAB? There should be some nice trades coming in the near future. Well, after losing $100,000 on BAB, potentially. And I say I lost $100,000. That on paper, I kind of lost $100,000, but I did speak to Paul and saying I'm thinking about selling. What do you think about you getting the license before December 2018? And because I was going to sell then, I was going to sell my 31 million back then for $100,000, just over $100,000. So I would have had that. So it's not just lost on paper. I would have kind of had that money kind of in my hand, or I might have kind of bought something else and that gone down as well. But it's okay making the money back up. It's okay, the trading, making the money back up just now. So I'm still working on it. Hopefully the likes of Metamorph, and we've not looked at the kind of small ones. And so charts, CoinTrader, we'll look at Digitex and Metamorph and other ones like that, and Howdo. So So Digitex futures still doing brilliant. Now, I don't know if this is going to have a drop when the exchange comes out. So this could be a case of kind of buy the hype, sell the news, until the exchange gets going and the people start piling in, because we've got 1 million on the waiting list, over 1 million on the waiting list. So I think we might have a slight drop in Digitex futures when the exchange comes out, and then that's when we'll start to see another run up on Digitex. Metamorph are doing good just now, hopefully. Still doing well, yeah, 161. Just now did get up to 184, and that is the kind of next line for them. Horizontal line about 190-ish. That's the next kind of resistance line there. So yeah, they're doing well as well. They're going up and down at the moment. Yeah, up and down you can see, but up to 274 just now. So not looking bad, and they're coming out at the end of this month with the platform as well. So that could be good for them. What's your thoughts on jet nodes for passive income? Don't know about jet nodes. Sorry, we're just kind of running out of time. Any thoughts on NCC? Don't know about that either. I do think it's a perfect allegation to ruin a man, especially someone like Assange, whose credibility is very important. My thoughts exactly, Babs. Metamorph is doing well, but my issue is the volume. Any big holder can just bring it right back down. They can, exactly. Anyway, you in Howdo. I'm in Howdo as well. I'm in Howdo. I'm Metamorph. Digitex I came out of. As I said, I kind of told my reasoning for that as well. But we'll see when the kind of exchange comes out as well. I'm really looking forward to it coming out and seeing what they're doing with that. And I'm looking for other kind of hidden gems as well. I think that's it just now. We'll just look at the bubbles again. What's happening with the bubbles? Lambda's going back up again. That just keeps on going up and up and up. Digitex moving up 1.61%. CRA going down. Nebulas is up 4.59%. So we'll just have a look on OEX going back up again, 18%. That's bouncing off the 50 EMA, that's on a daily. WTC going up 10%. Ogre, that's going up as well. I really like Ogre for the future. And Nebulas as well, we're seeing going up. DLT starting to move back up as well. Seller up to 379 now. So that's doing well. I do think this is just going to hold it until we get to 500, at least 500, then I'll take it from there for Seller Network. I think that's going to start moving. Well, it is started to move already. I recommended it at 365. It did unfortunately go down to about 325 with a kind of drop in the alts, but it's back up. It's up to 380, and I think we'll be expecting over 400 quite soon, hopefully, and then take it from there. But I'm holding until we get to 500. Hopefully, it's going to get up to that as well. You can't really see it on the daily because it just came out. So 4 hourly is looking really good. It's just crossed over for the first time since it came on, and it's been on for a couple of weeks now. But I do like this. And I think we're going to get up to 500-600 for Seller as well, Seller Network. BTT, 2-to-1 sell against. It's on the 15-14, so it might go down to 13-14 again. ZEC, I looked at that this morning and thought that was going to go up, but I didn't want to kind of recommend it that kind of particular time. Hadn't crossed over. But a lot of these are going to start bouncing if Bitcoin starts moving up again. And we'll just have a look at the Bitcoin price as well just before we go. USD. So 5,022, it's holding 5,000 just now, but we'll need to hold that. If it was the case that Julian Assange had kind of sold off from WikiLeaks and that was kind of bringing it down, we should see a jump back up. If it wasn't, that's a different story altogether. But my gut feeling is we're going to go back up and we're going to surpass. We're going to get to 5,500-ish before trying to push through to 6,000. That's my gut feeling, and that's my kind of spidey senses, but just pure intuition, so take that with a pinch of salt, big time. Excited for Howdo. They have signed up some big influencers on Instagram. They've signed up a lot of influencers, so that'll be good when they do come out. Toy Salika, thanks for all the good info, mate. Have yourself a fudless day. Cheers, mate, and thanks very much. G-Slick, namaste. Skidmore, so BTC up, down, or sideways this weekend? For me, up. Intuition, up. Chart-wise, down. Gene, 5 million BTT since 26, so no choice but hold at this stage. Yeah, I would hold. I'll just keep holding then, and maybe even if you want to accumulate, because I think it could be big. I just don't like the way Joe and Son is doing things. That's the only kind of reasoning behind that. But as a company, as what they're doing, it could be totally huge and get to 100 Satoshi. Will you tether out if BTC hits 6k? No. No, I won't. I'll just kind of trade and take it from there. I very rarely tether or go into tether. Very rarely, to be honest, Babs. Okay, I'm going to leave it there just now. Have yourself a brilliant day, whatever you're doing. Have a brilliant weekend, whatever you're doing as well. And I will see you on Monday, same time, same place. And just be careful out there as well. And have yourself a brilliant weekend. Until next time, namaste. Take care. Bye now.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.